Before we get into your reading, I'd like to start by thanking everyone who has liked and commented on the videos, as well as subscribed and donated to my channel. I really appreciate it, you guys. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can find all of my contact information, including my email and social media links, as well as links to my music and podcast in the description below this video. Okay, let's get into your reading. What do we have for Sag? Five of Swords, Aquarius energy at the foundation of the reading, Sag. Sag, this feels a little bit like the Pisces reading that I just did. But what I'm getting here is, with this Five of Swords, we actually had Five of Wands at the foundation in the Pisces reading. I'm getting a similar message here. The message I'm getting here, Sag, I feel like you're really starting to recognize things in your environment, even in just our modern day world. Our reality, things that are all working in, it's like they're working in tandem, but all of these things create this web to stop you, to stop us from essentially ascending. It's as if you put all this work into yourself, Sag, to awaken spiritually, to get on path, and then there's something that seemingly knocks you back a few steps. It's almost like you're fighting this never-ending battle, but it's happening on the energetic plane. It's happening in the spiritual realm. And I feel that you're starting to recognize how your struggles, your path is working in tandem with the entire collective. So you're starting to recognize the importance of influence. You're starting to see how influence on a world stage can actually stagnate or stifle people from waking up. I just really feel like you're starting to put the pieces together. It's like you're connecting the dots. And you know, I've been diving pretty deep into some more studies lately into the universe and just more information about the chakras. And right now I'm doing a lot of studying surrounding how each one of the chakras represents a different planet, which is something I always knew. But when you think about it in terms of this being on this massive macro scale, it's as if the universe is alive. Well, it is alive, but it's like we are all the universe. We all have a universe inside of us. So I'm actually starting to recognize how these movements that take place astrologically show up in our lives on a micro scale. This is also something I've always been aware of, but for some reason I'm focusing on it a lot more lately because it's becoming much more obvious. It's becoming much clearer. And Sag, I feel like I'm telling you this because this is really speaking about where your mind is at. It's like you're starting to look outside of yourself and you're seeing this influence that's all around us that is really working to stop us as a collective from having these massive spiritual awakenings in our lives. It's like we're all under attack, Sag. You're under attack in your own personal life in some capacity. You feel stagnated, stifled, held back from fully awakening. Just when you think you're about to have a breakthrough, it's almost like you forget. It's like your memory is wiped or you just can't hold on to the knowledge or the information, right? It's like when you wake up from a dream and you're trying to hold on to the memory of the dream, but you can't. And then by the end of the day, it's completely gone. Why is that? Seemingly, it's as if the things that probably hold the most answers that exist on this deep subconscious layer are always taken away from us. And I recognize our environments as being the force that makes it harder and harder for us to access these energies. We're all kept in this very low vibrational energy. So getting back to this Five of Swords at the foundation, this really speaks on everything I just said, Sag. It's an energy of recognition. You're starting to see the truth, but in a way that you haven't before. We've all been experiencing truths over the past few years. We've all been having these awakenings, but it's as if we're really reaching a new height, a new benchmark in awakening. And in doing so, we're starting to see all the areas that we've been under attack in our lives. And it's as if the more awake you become, the more you start to actually understand why this knowledge, why this ascension is being kept from us. It's essentially to get us out of our root chakra. See, the root chakra is all related to the material world. The crown chakra is all related to spirit. Our lives are a journey of awakening, ascension. We're supposed to climb the tree of life, the chakra system to awakening, to spirit, and awaken to the knowledge that each one of us has a universe within us, that we are, on a certain scale, all made in God's image. This is a really deep channeling that I'm having here, Sag. But to close out this Five of Swords at the foundation, it's really just an energy of you starting to realize that you need to terminate some energies from your life, because you've gotten to the point where I feel you've done as much as you can, Sag. Now there's things inside your environment that need to go in order for you to reach this new benchmark, to reach this new height in your ascension. People, places, things, behavioral patterns, whatever it is. For a lot of us, it's going to be a combination of these things. It even comes down, obviously, to your diet, because what you consume is really what determines your vibration. You know, the root chakra, red. If you look at all the fast food chains, they all have red in their advertisements. McDonald's, Carl's Jr., Burger King, all red and yellow. See, this is to keep you in a lower vibration, trapped inside the material world. The yellow, this is an energy of keeping you essentially powerless in these lower vibrations. What do we have at the sacral, please? Wow, Two of Wands. And look, here you are, Sag, looking at the planet, thinking about everything I just said. Aries energy with this Two of Wands at the sacral. This is an energy of you stepping into your personal power, starting to dig deeper. I just heard hidden knowledge. You know, Sag, each one of these chakras, like I was saying, represents a planet. The sun represents your soul. The moon represents your mind. The earth represents the heart chakra. The root chakra is Saturn. Each one of these chakras represents a different planet. Now, of course, there's a lot of misinformation out there pertaining to which chakra represents what planet. But the main focus is on the 7 original planets. I won't get into all that right now, because that's a deep rabbit hole that's going to far exceed the time that I've allotted for this particular reading. But I feel that the focus of this reading is surrounding vibration and how your environment influences that, Sag. Now, for a lot of you, this is going to be living situations, family dynamics, friends, romantic relationships. And you know, Sag, I had this dream recently where I was looking at a rainbow, and in my dream I was thinking about how the rainbow represents each chakra, each planet. So a rainbow is essentially a miracle, because it's when all the energies of the planets come together, we're able to actually see it. Usually this happens after rains and storms, right? So maybe it has something to do with the atmosphere. Something happens, we're able to see the energies coming off of all the planets in this moment, in this miracle that's taking place. So in my dream, I remember looking at this rainbow and thinking, well, if we can see the energy coming off the other planets, which is usually not visible by human beings, in my dream I started to think about how each one of those beams of energy that were coming off those planets represented the vibrations, 7 vibrations of the universe that bring life. So if we can't see those energies on a normal day without there being some sort of storm, then who's to say that on each one of those planets there isn't actually life, but we can't even see it because it's on a different vibrational plane. And when the atmosphere reacts a certain way to weather conditions, we're able to have a miracle take place to where we can perceive these other energies. Now, seeing as all of those energies are higher in vibration to the material realm that we all exist on, you would think that they might be able to see us, but we can't see them. What I'm picking up on here, Sag, in this dream that I had, which I had recently, it's been consuming my mind. Again, it's a very deep, deep idea that really has no framework and can be something that can be perceived as almost beyond what our minds can even conceive. It's a hard idea to even grasp onto. But to me, there's a lot of sense there. And Sag, I feel as though this reading is speaking on a collection of ideas that you've been having about your own life, trying to understand energies, trying to work it out. And again, even though I'm speaking on these things that are taking place on the macro, the universal, it all trickles down into our own individual lives. Sag, I feel like you've been feeling called for something bigger, something higher, something outside of the realm of perception. And I don't even feel like you can put your finger on it, much like I feel right now, trying to explain these ideas. And I know that all of you understand in some capacity what I'm trying to put down here, but I feel that something is calling out to us, Sag. It's as if we're being asked to look a little closer, to look a little deeper, to look a little more carefully, but not outside of ourselves. I feel like if we all close our eyes and think about some of these ideas that I'm trying to channel through right now, maybe one of you out there can help bring it all together in a cohesive manner. All I know is, Sag, that I'm supposed to be channeling through ideas for all of you right now surrounding perception. The moon at the solar plexus. Perception is exactly right. And there's not a better card that could have followed everything I just said. Here is the subconscious mind being represented at this solar plexus. Solar plexus is all related to your personal power, your confidence. There's something that wants you to access it, Sag. It's like a key to life. It's a bigger idea. See, I feel as though once you're able to grasp onto some of these ideas, Sag, there's a certain level of empowerment that is going to come through for you, shatter a lot of illusions in your life, and it's all related to something that's right in front of us that we can't see. Think about when the sun is beaming down in just the right set of circumstances, and you're able to look directly into the sky around you, and you're able to see another layer of life amongst the dust and debris that's flying around. It's like you see insects, you see life that you would just never normally see. It's like there's so much in front of you, Sag, yet you're being kept from it. They don't want you to see it. But I feel as though this can't be kept from you any longer because you feel something calling you. It's your higher self, Sag. And what I'm picking up on this reading is nothing short of an ascension taking place in all of your lives. What I'm explaining to all of you now, what I'm explaining to myself, are the mechanics of a spiritual awakening and ascension like you've never experienced before. And I feel like this is happening collectively for all of you. Or this is what you have access to. You have to want it, though, Sag. You must question everything. The simple understanding and knowing that you have a 7-chakra system inside of you that is essentially being charged by all 7 of these universal bodies, these planets. Now, who's charging those planets, macro to micro? The answers are all around us. We've just been conditioned and confined to a very limited space and been made to feel like there's no reason to go looking for any answers, that everything we need is supplied to us. What do we have at the heart, please? Page, wow. Unbelievable. Page of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. And the Page of Pentacles in its upright is an energy of seeking, just like I was just saying. This is you going out into the world, seeking abundance. It's an energy of manifestation. But in its reverse, right there at the heart chakra, which represents Earth, which can speak about this matrix energy that we're stuck in. It's like the energy of having a short-term focus. It's like that's what's encouraged. When you have a short-term focus, you don't have any progress in your life. It's an energy of missing out on opportunities. It's like we're caged in, but we don't have to be. See, they can't cage your mind. What do we have at the throat, please? Devil at the throat. And look who decided to show up to the party, Sag. This is what it all comes down to. Devil, Capricorn energy. This is the material world. This is what this represents. This is all of us being trapped inside our lower chakras. The matrix. Being supplied with everything we need. Being encouraged to look outside of ourselves for guidance when there's no better guidance than the guidance we get from within, from our own intuition, that divine tether that keeps us connected to spirit. You know, lately I've been seeing the rainbow, which is used on many different organizations' logos. I won't say any. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, it's being used incorrectly. It's being used inverted. See, the purple is supposed to be at the top, which represents spirit, but instead they put the red on the top, which represents the material world. This is actually very significant and no different than turning the cross or the star upside down. It's the exact same idea. See, the top of the star represents spirit, but when you turn it upside down, they're putting spirit facing down and the material world facing up. What do we have at the third eye, please? Chariot, Cancer energy at the third eye, victory, ascension. Sag, a lot of you are starting to realize that there's a lot that you need to let go of in your own lives, in this material world that we're all living in. Yes, we have to be here, we have to exist here, but we don't need to be slaves to this. We're meant to live inside this system, inside this matrix, create a virus of awakening from the inner workings, leave our mark, leave a legacy. Our lives are all about influence, what we're going to leave behind. You know, I've gotten to the point where I don't even focus too much on what the future is going to look like, but I think more about what things will look like after I'm gone. What will I leave behind that makes a difference? And ever since I've changed my mindset to do this, obviously don't focus on the past, and I try not to focus too much in the future, but I focus on what things will look like after I'm gone. Things start to manifest in my life much more rapidly. Now, I understand that not everybody can do that, because by doing that, you have to face your own mortality. But in saying that, once you're comfortable with that idea, facing your own mortality becomes something different anyway, because you start to see that your spirit never dies. You're always in existence, just on different planes, different vibrations. The only thing that we leave behind is the material vessel that we're all in. But this chariot at the third eye, this chariot's representing a good omen in your life, Sag. You've gotten to the point now in your life where I feel to get any further, there's certain things that you need to become aware of. It's as if there's this knowledge that is waiting to be bestowed upon you. I just heard the keys to life. And this is how you're going to access this new timeline, Sag. It's like you need to accept the truth. But really, this time. What do we have at the crown, please? 5 of Wands at the crown. Wow, look at this energy. 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands. Similar to the Pisces reading. Obstacles and challenges coming in at the crown. Coming in at this spiritual awakening, this ascension. It's like you've hit the top. It's like you've reached as high as you can get, Sag. It's like to access the new level, there has to be a bigger evolution in your life that needs to unfold. It's like you're really being called to break out of these same patterns and cycles. There's like a calling for big changes that need to come into your life, but it's you that brings these changes into your life. It's you showing up for the universe. It's as if the universe is saying to you, Sag, we've gotten you as far as we possibly can. We've held your hand this entire way. But now we really need you to take the reins here, because we can't forcibly remove you from certain things, people, places, things, behavioral patterns, addictions, whatever it is, relationships in your material environment. There's a lot of changes that a lot of you know you need to make, and now's the time. I mean, look, you can stay in those cycles as long as you want, but it's like you're remaining on a hamster wheel. There's new information, new knowledge that you're being made privy to, but in order for you to access it, you have to really, really start working on your vibrations. The knowledge exists on a higher vibrational plane, and you access that vibrational plane by raising your vibration. How do you raise your vibration? Well, you let go of all the things that do not serve your highest good. People, places, things, behavioral patterns, addictions, whatever it is. There's no room for any excuses anymore. This is a relatively serious energy. But the fact that this message is even coming through is a miracle, because it gives me the feeling that the door, the portal is being opened for all of us to walk through. See, even though we're still inside the material world, we can be here with very, very high vibrations. We access these portals through our minds. They're mindsets. The way we perceive our environment is all based off of our mindset, our perception. See, everything around us, everything we pump into our minds on a daily basis is controlled by a very small group of people who have an agenda. And Sag, I'm sorry to say, but that agenda is not to assist you in spiritual awakening. It's to keep you trapped inside the material world so we can continue to be enslaved by something that we can't even really accept. It's right in front of our face, but we don't want to accept the truth of what it really is. What do we have at the foundation, please, from the Occult Tarot? Five of Cups, Five of Swords, Five of Wands, Five of Cups, 555. There's major changes trying to come into your life here, Sag. Everything I'm saying is spot on. As wild as this reading is, it's right on target. See, this is representing this energy draining us of our life force inside the matrix, inside the illusion, and this energy is going to show up in the people in our lives, the behavioral patterns, the addictions. It's just a spirit that shows up in all these different ways, and it compounds together to keep us enslaved inside this illusion. It's time you start accepting the truth here. It's time we all start accepting the truth. This isn't a message for only you, Sag. Yes, it's coming out in your reading, but this is a message that all of us need to hear. It's time to accept the truth and really step into your power here. We need to all stop looking outside of ourselves for heroes. The hero lives within each one of us. The only person that is going to save each one of us is ourselves. What do we have at the sacral, please? King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. At the sacral, this is representing this manipulation. At the sacral, very hedonistic kind of energy, trying to keep you in these lower vibrations of fear of what's to come. It's like a fear of knowing who you could be, but too scared to go and get it. I remember feeling that way years ago. I knew what I could become, but the idea of where I was at that time to what it would take to actually accomplish that kept me in fear. The idea of our own greatness keeping us imprisoned in fear doesn't make any sense. But think about that. We're made to think that to achieve this greatness in our lives, we have to go to great lengths, take all these risks, that it's not easily attained. It's just a complete lie, because we're made to think that we need to look outside of ourselves to attain those things, when really it's already inside of you. You access it by raising your vibration. It's like you have all these keys within you. Every time you raise your vibration by way of what you release from your life. You see, there's nothing we need. Everything's inside of us. We just need to release things. The matrix just weighs us down with all of these things we don't need. Materialism, right? What you find is, as you start raising your vibration, you have access to these keys. Those keys help you unlock this knowledge in your mind. You start getting new ideas, different ways you can do things. You just start making things happen. And I'm not just saying this, Sag. I've done this. I'm doing this now. I never in a million years thought I would ever be able to pull off what I've been pulling off this past few years. It still blows my mind. But it's because I got to a point where I exhausted all the possibilities in the material world. I went down every path that was outside of myself and hit a dead end until there was no other place to look than within. So I started to study energy, the chakras, vibration, frequency, tarot, how it all connected. Started nurturing this connection with Source, God, the universe. Started clearing the behavioral patterns, the addictions, the people, the places, the things, whatever it was out of my life. And then what I found was a version of myself that I had never accessed before. The real me, because I had an understanding, or enough of an understanding, of what I think may be kind of going on in our reality. See, what I know isn't even close to the actual truth. They just gave me access to enough information so I can get on my path. As time goes on, I get a little bit more downloaded to me. And it takes just about everything inside of me to try and compartmentalize it and put it all together. It's like in my house, I just write things all over these dry erase boards everywhere so I don't forget. I'm always scribbling things and writing nonsense inside these notebooks and recording these little audio clips of me speaking things that I don't even really understand. And then I go back and listen to it all and look at it all, and somehow it just starts to come together. It's like an energy of madness. But this is what you're really being called to do here, Sag. I just really feel something screaming from within you, desperate for you to come online and allow for this new level of ascension to come into your life and bless you, because you obviously deserve it. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Wow. Hierophant, Orius at the solar plexus. And this may as well be the devil, because I read these cards right here and their detriment, their negative polarities. This is a godless energy right underneath this moon at the solar plexus. So this is you recognizing the control mechanisms in your own life. It's going to be different for all of us, but they're all extensions of the one main control mechanism. We're all just experiencing the same energy in a different way. It's like each one of us is a brain cell inside the universal mind, experiencing different thoughts, different ideas, different ways of doing things, which begs the question, are we wisdom incarnate? What do we have at the heart, please? Four of Cups, Shacks, Cancer energy, war, and violence. Further details of what I'm picking up here. Whenever I get this card, it looks like this horse is depressed or down, and this weird bird is trying to console the horse, but looking like he's cocking his fist back and tripping him. But it's almost like the horse doesn't even see this taking place. It's like the bird's like, come on now, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. It's like this is this energy that I'm picking up on. Wants us to think that everything is going to be okay, that we don't need to look anywhere else, except that we don't need to look beyond what's in front of us. It's like the Seven of Cups, which isn't on the table, but it's somebody looking at all these cups. It's like an energy of distraction, and there's this blue sky behind the cups, right? It's like all the distractions are trying to keep us from something. This is what I'm getting here with this energy. It's like an energy that's consuming you. So you don't look at things from a wider scope, from a different vantage point, from a universal perspective. So you don't step outside the fishbowl and just have a wider look at things. Stacked with this Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's like an energy of being short-sighted. And now we go into the outcome. So we go from the demons to the angels. Ilahia, success, which is the High Priestess, Pisces energy. And this goes along with everything I'm speaking about, Sag, because this is all of you going inward for your guidance. Finding the answers to everything within. Finding the hero within each one of you. This is an energy of the subconscious mind. It's an energy of you listening to your higher guidance. Understanding that nobody can tell you better than your own internal GPS system that is controlled by divine headquarters. What do we have at the throat, please? Boom. The Fool. Vehuia. The exulting God, will and new beginnings, assists with difficult and great undertakings. Probably couldn't have asked for a more perfect card to follow up everything I just said, Sag. There's a whole new beginning here. There's a whole new level of the game that you're being given access to, Sag. But you're being called on a megaphone to start digging deeper. All the things you've been talking about doing and putting off, it's time now. Start going to work, Sag. We've arrived, and we're being asked to really go in with a fine-tooth comb into each one of our own personal lives and start really cleaning house. Whatever that means to you, Sag. For some of you, it's going to be the friendships you keep, the toxic family members, siblings that have been dragging you down for too long. For some of you, it's going to be addictions, the things you know you need to let go of because they're keeping you in a low vibration. What a thing to sacrifice to anything material. Sacrificing the knowledge of who you are for something material is just a mind-blowing concept to even compartmentalize it when you think about it. For some of you, this is going to be really toxic romantic relationships that I know a lot of you Sages out there have been dealing with. And most of those individuals, if not all of them, are devil in the flesh. They're just extensions. They're byproducts of the matrix that are keeping you trapped. They are essentially Agent Smiths. What do we have at the third eye, please? Wow. The Lovers. What a crazy card to follow up what I just said. Gemini energy. Haniel. Joy of God. Joy and pleasure. Brings happiness to couples. Removes negative energy. See, but there's a much deeper meaning to this card than what a lot of you may be thinking right now. This is actually representing you and your higher self, Sag. Removing the negative energy that is keeping you from aligning with your higher self. Alignment of your feminine and masculine coming into union with self. Understanding that a lot of these unions that you're entertaining inside the matrix, inside the illusion, inside your waking life inside of the material world are actually keeping you from awakening spiritually. Anybody who makes you feel or allows you to sacrifice you waking up spiritually is showing you exactly who they are, Sag. When someone shows you who they are, you better believe them. Because if you don't, you're the fool, not them. What do we have? The Crown to close us out for Sag, please. The Magician. Gemini, Virgo energy at the Crown to close out the reading. Nethea, the generous God, spiritual wisdom and magic, helps one gain wisdom and discover hidden secrets. Sag, this is an energy of you actually turning your visions into reality, focusing, concentrating on the task at hand here. It's an energy of purpose, realizing your power and potential, no longer making up excuses and charging forward and stepping into this new timeline. You also have to remember, Sag, that you're actually needed. Each one of us is needed. Every time we sacrifice these ascensions, these spiritual awakenings, to the control mechanism that we're all living inside of the material world, well, that's like taking a soldier off of the battlefield. We're one man down, one woman down. We're not as strong as we could be. Sag, this is the energy that's available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donation, Sag. Take care.